Welcome to part 2 of chapter 3. In this part, we will talk about how process groups are mapped to knowledge areas under project management that we discussed before. So overall, you can map the main activities of each project management process group into the 9 knowledge areas that were outlined by the Project Management Book of Knowledge. And we also discussed those areas before. Here we're talking about such knowledge areas as integration management, communication, human resource management, and so forth. Time management, cost management. There are 9 areas in total. One thing that you will see is that there are some process groups that draw pretty much from all knowledge areas. And those process groups are related to planning and also monitoring and controlling. If you think about it, it makes sense because indeed to plan for something, you need to know everything. In other words, you need to have knowledge or experience throughout the entire cycle of project management to do proper planning. And also monitoring and controlling, because you'll be monitoring and controlling pretty much everything, all stages, all activities. And this, once again, requires this holistic understanding of the entire field of project management. So you'll be making use of all 9 knowledge areas. So here we have a table that matches process management process groups such as initiation, planning, execution to specific knowledge areas using activities, specific activities. So these specific activities under planning, they correspond or they draw on specific knowledge areas. For example, when you're doing planning, you'll be estimating activity resources, you'll be estimating meaning the resources that will be consumed by each of the tasks or activities as a part that are part of your project. You will be also estimating the time attached, the time estimates for each of the activities. And based on all those things, you will develop schedules. So based on that, based on all those activities, you will draw on the project time management knowledge area. Also, you need to know about cost management because as a part of planning, you'll be estimating costs for each of the activities and determining the overall budget. Also, you'll be drawing on quality management because quality, as we will cover later in this course, is something that is planned for. It's not something that happens at the end once you already have your product or service delivered. Also, when you create a plan for a particular project, you will develop human resource plan, meaning the kind of people you will need, the kind of specialists or professionals you will need for your project, at what points of time and to what extent. Meaning, are you planning to involve them full-time at a particular stage or part-time? Or do you need several full-time specialists or quarters, let's say? So all this requires knowledge in project human resource management. Now, we're not going to go through each of those cells one by one. I just suggest you pause on this slide and you just read about those activities and think about how they may overlap. First of all, think about why those activities belong to a particular process group, and then think how exactly they may overlap with specific knowledge areas. So please pause on this slide. So here we have a continuation of this table that matches project management process groups with specific knowledge areas through activities. Once again, planning and monitoring, controlling are the process groups that draw on all knowledge areas. So once again, I suggest you pause here for a minute to read about activities and reflect on the question of how those activities are related to process group and why they are drawing on a specific knowledge area. So please pause here for a minute. And this is the last part of the table. So once again, pause here for a minute to reflect how these why these specific activities are a part of a specific process group and why those activities draw on a specific knowledge area. So pause for a minute to go over this table. And this completes part 2 of chapter 3. Thank you for watching.